Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. So today we have a very hot topic with this coming up, eclipse. It is a very special energy, and I maybe explain to you quickly because I have experienced the full solar eclipse in '95. And I was there. I traveled to go there with a group that was from a local place. It was from Bangkok, and we had. I flew down to Bangkok, and then overnight. Then we had a long trip, about 5-6 hours to drive to go to the place, and I was supposed then to go back to the airport and fly back at night. Things went different than I thought. I was looking at the moon coming up towards the sun, and still from the minibus. Luckily, I was sitting on the side that I had a free view of it, and I could already, in the morning already, I felt the energy changing. And the moment this happened, the energy shifted very, very strongly, and it was not like the energy of night. It was more like a blue light, something completely different in this shadow energy. So there was a lot of traffic jams, as you might imagine. Everybody wanted to go to the same few places. And we finally had our driver stop at a place that was not the planned place, but we could see the full eclipse. So we went out of the bus, and it was very, very close, just a couple minutes before the full eclipse. And I separated from the group and went aside a little bit and said that there was some rocks, and I sat on a rock and I took this thing that we have for the eyes away, and I was watching. I was doing sun gazing. I also do it now every day if I can, for a long time, so it was okay. So the moon came up, and it was very, very fascinating because it suddenly became very still. And even if some people were shouting whatever, sometime I just was able to blend it out, and I did not have this energy with me anymore. And I saw that, and I felt that shadow. You feel it on the skin. It's getting cold. It was a very, very special experience. And then after that, what they call the diamond ring effect, that was absolutely massive. When this came up, it was like whoosh. It was like I felt it like a sword hitting me, and it was. I cannot describe this in word what I felt. It was like I felt that something was sliced open in me. It went to the heart. I don't know. I cannot completely say it, but it was like something was ripped open. And then after a while, we were called to go back, and we got back into this minibus for hours and hours, and we knew that we cannot reach the airport. So some people invited me to stay over who lived near the airport, and they helped me to rearrange my flight. I didn't have a mobile phone then in '95. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but anyway, I went back then the next day. And after this diamond ring effect, after this happening, I started to get a headache. And unfortunately, I had only a small bottle of water with me. It was full, but it still was not enough. So we were hours and hours in that traffic jam, and my headache get worse and worse, and I could even hardly see anymore out of my eyes. And the next day I lay down. I think I slept a bit and went early to the airport next morning, and I was so sick I even vomited in the airplane. You can imagine how sick I was. And then when I got back home, I just crashed in bed and was sick for 3 days. So I think those people who are vulnerable for this kind of energy, they will have some kind of experience. And I'm very sure, also look at the chart afterwards, that this eclipse is something that will rip open something. And this is what the other side also is using. And I would recommend you to also listen to the video from Kerry K, and I will put the URL in the link. She talks about it, and I had another very dear friend who sent in the morning to me that she got that information from the angels. And in the evening that night, I went and looked a little bit around and find her video, and she confirmed more or less 100% what my friend said. So be careful, be very careful, and anchor the light. Because this moment when the moon is in front of the sun, there is a moment, like about a minute or two, that the energy is blocked. And this is that part that we need to bridge with our light. So imagine yourself being that lighthouse, being the light, anchor the light, bring it into your body even before that you're very strong in the light at the moment that happened. And I'm not so sure if it's very clever to go there, to especially to be outside. You don't really need to see it. It happens. The energy also, if you feel it, this might be already enough. So I go now to the chart, and I share with you the picture. And you can see already here from the picture, whoa, 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 look at that. Everything is just here. And there is a retrograde Mercury. What is also very significant here is to see that, and this is the world horoscope. And this is the node axis is exactly AC/DC. So we can see that this has also something to do with clearing and ripping off something in the world. And I'm not talking about the things that are happening on the physical, about CERN, NASA, and military. I listened to those videos. Kerry, especially Kerry, she explains this very clearly. So what is happening here, especially with Mercury retrograde, which is very significant, and all these planets are in Pisces and not in Aries. Please, please, that's the real star constellation. When you look in the sky, you see the real star constellation, not Western astrology. So we have actually 6 planets here. We have 6 planets in Pisces plus the node. That is 7 in energy spots, we can say, are in Pisces. Now, those who have seen my reading that I did about the eclipse already in my blog written, there was the card of the threefold riddle. Let me see if I can find that again. Because this is a very important thing to know, because it is actually this kind of energy, because it's in Pisces. Remember, Pisces is the energy frequency that is hidden, that things are hidden. And in addition, with the retrograde Mercury, we have a double energy of like the misunderstandings, the hidden things that we can, the lies, all the energies that are not clear. It's just about it's not clear. And this is what will happen. And this is why it is very important that we are clear within ourselves, so that we can move beyond with our consciousness, beyond all that confusion. And remember, it is always like this: if things are happening on the planet to reinforce control and things like that, it's always create chaos, create fear. And this is now here. Let me show this quickly to you. I stop sharing for a moment. I show you the card that I just found. This is the card of the threefold riddle. And this is, you can see, no religious background, please, but you can see that the beings that are within these fabrics are not visible. That means that this is all camouflage. We cannot see the real thing. This is hidden. And this is an energy that I feel is very strong here in that moment with this Pisces constellation that we have. And especially with retrograde Mercury, that reinforces that whole topic. So it will be a time of confusion. You might be feeling lost for a moment, but at the same time, what I also know, and what is in my information, what happened with the cards I was drawing yesterday, is that we are using this as a breakthrough. And the thing is also, the more people ask for help in this moment, the more beings from the other side can help us. beings that are here for us. And I think they will also use the same energy of confusion, and not from the light workers, but from the other side, to bring confusion there too. And their project that they plan in bringing in these negative entities in that moment, they will block that. And I feel that there is a lot of help out there. So what we have to do in the moment when this eclipse happened, or in the time before already, ask all the angels to help. Ask all the angels to help to hold the light, that there is no dark portal opening. And this is, I think, this is the main key here. If we see Mercury retrograde is focus inside. Outside there will be chaos. Inside there will be quietness. You can imagine the ocean. Outside at the surface, there are the waves. If you turn inside, if you dive down, there is the slow current, that is the feeling. So if you move away from emotions and go into the feelings, the depth of yourself, and you start to bring out that light. You can also imagine what I do very often when I do the sun gazing in the morning. When I walk, I look into the sun, take off my glasses, look into the sun, and I see myself as the extension of the sun. And I see the sun as the divine energy, which is also in my heart, in my own divine center for the divine, because this is not something that is outside of us. This is within us. There's nothing we need to open or close. This energy of the divine life is within us. So I connect my divine life with the divine energy from the sun, and I connect it. So that's, we are like with a string connected. And this feels very powerful, and this feels very clear. So you maybe can do this as a visualization, that the ray of the sun that is connected, that you connect with, is still there, and the pathway of the light is still open. This will have definitely a positive outcome. And just what we have to give permission to the angels and guides and all those helpers to help, to prevent all the negative things that are planned for this event. You know, they also always use some kind of special dates or special events for their plans and turn the positive around. For me, this eclipse was at that time incredibly positive, because it really helps me to break out of that situation I was in that time that was really bad for me. So I had the courage to move on. And if you use it in this way, you will also experience, maybe not exactly on the eclipse, but as follow up, you will suddenly have insights. You will see that your consciousness is rising in a very, very strong way. And Mercury retrograde is helping, because the moment you focus inside, you will receive all the information that you need, and not from outside, not from the press, not from anything outside. And I also am not a friend of mass meditations, because again, we do not really expect that with many it is good when we hold the light together, but I would not want to follow some instructions. This is the moment that you have to listen inside to yourself, so that you know what it is, what you have to do, and not what other people tell you to do. I told you several times already that the whole New Age is hijacked. And there is always some trickle of something that is not true inside. They might give you the truth for 95%, but there is always this little bit, that part that hold you back. And one of the worst things is especially the expectation of a savior. We have to save ourselves. We have to the light within is being reborn. So it's like to take that crust away, that the light is inside. So when we take that away, we start to shine like the sun, or like a star, whatever you want to you want to refer it to. And this is what will happen. This will happen for many, many out there, that this crust is kind of exploding, even maybe. It might even be connected with pain. Pain is very often a breakthrough and an initiation. You might know that the shaman, for example, has to go through certain illness and situations so that he or she will be able to heal himself first to become the shaman. And this is, in a way, I see a very, very strong initiation with all these planets clustered here in Pisces. So that means that I go out of my physical body with my awareness. So I become like the observer. One part of me is here in the body observing. I can observe the eclipse or whatever. And another part of me is outside observing the whole thing, connected with all the energies that are outside that are not visible for our eyes. So we have Moon, Sun, and Chiron. Chiron, the healer. And again, this is a planetoid that Western astrology kicked out already, said it's not worth it to look into it, but I think it is a very, very important energy that we need to look at, because this is the planet that makes, in the circle of the 7 personal planets, it makes an ellipse and connects the outer and the inner planet. The outer planet, what we could say, represent the higher self, and the inner planets, the personal planets, that represent our ego. Is always a word that is very misunderstood, because the ego is very important. We need the ego. So, like, remember, if we don't have an ego, we cannot function. So it's like the glass, you know. I have this kombucha in here, but if I don't have a glass, it will just kind of run away. I need the glass, I need the form to hold it. And this is exactly the same. Our physical body, our ego, our personare means we are the mask. This is our mask, that we talk through that mask, that enables us to have a human experience. So this is important, but we have to heal it. See, this is an exact conjunction here. We have this here on 27, 27, 27. So this is 25, 25, 26 degree. This is a very, very, very close conjunction. And this is very powerful energy. So if we connect to this healing energy, then we can have that personal healing within ourselves. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, if you see this eclipse or not. You can also, for those, for example, like for me here, this is something like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. You don't even need to be awake. You can go to bed, and you can have the intention before you sleep. You go into an alpha state, the meditative state, and you intend to be energetically here during the eclipse, and that it's going to heal your body, your personality, that it's going to crack open those things that need to be cracked open. So see, this is, when I look at it, it is, whatever I hear, a complete different aspect that you can use for yourself, for your personal healing and the healing of the world. So we crack open all these secrets, all this negative energy that it comes to the surface. It's like that volcano or that tidal wave coming up to wash away what does not belong anymore. And since it is a very strong and a very powerful energy, don't ask it to be soft. Don't ask it to be gentle. It's okay. Sometimes we need a kick to go forward. And if you are there and ready to allow it, this will be something that will bring you to a complete different level of consciousness and help you to wake up. I feel that after this eclipse, things are speeding up very strong, that many, many things will happen in the outside world that really will shock the whole world. That, you know, revelations, the disclosure is happening already, but it's coming more and more people, and faster they will see what really happened, and the plans of the dark ones are going to be destroyed. And we know already from the subtle energy, from the other future timelines, that the earth is moving into that what many people call, or was called, the golden age. Now, when we are looking again here at that chart, Saturn and Mars in Aquarius. Aquarius represents the higher self. When we come from the last Earth sign is Capricorn, this is more or less where we die. We can say, here I leave the body, and then here I just use simple words now that are very understandable. Here we go to heaven or hell, whatever you want to, you think you or people go. Anyway, we leave the body and we come to that, also to that part, what some think about it is a last judgment or whatever, which it is not. But this is not on the physical realm anymore. And when we have Saturn and Mars here, that means our energetic being is going to a different level where we have the overview of things that we usually don't have as long as we are in matter. It's like here when I'm in the physical body, and here I will be a bird. Here I fly on top and I see the whole picture, and here I'm on the street and I just don't even see around the next curve. So that means that we have a very big opening of our own personal view of what life is all about. And since it's Mars here involved with Saturn, that will force us to open up beyond the material level. It will give us very powerful insight. And here we have a green aspect here also from Pluto here, and this one is to Venus, this one to the Sun, moon eclipse, and conjunction, sorry. And this will give us that opening that we need to make that jump. We have what is happening. We have, for many people, there is a personal ascension, a personal awakening, and then there is a mass ascension, a mass awakening. The personal one is depending on what you are doing, where you are going. And we have here also the combination here of Jupiter and Uranus. Uranus as the ruler of Aquarius, Jupiter the ruler of Sagittarius, meaning as which is the root here, meaning that we have a chance to blow up the boundaries. So when we have the symbol of Sagittarius, it is an arrow penetrating the horizontal line. And the horizontal line is the material understanding and the material, the thinking, you know, the logical mind. And the arrow that penetrates it, the Jupiter, is like we see here, the moon is standing on top of the horizontal line. Is our soul moving beyond the normal thinking and reconnected with Uranus, with a higher self. So this is a very, very powerful chart that we have here. And especially since so many planets are more or less in the same cluster in Pisces. This thing will happen not on a pedestal for others to see. Things will happen very personal for you, very personal in your life will shift, things will come to the surface. And once they come to the surface within you, you suddenly know. And this is not something you can fake. And this is not something you can read or learn or whatever. This is that inner knowingness, when that divine core within you, that God spark or God self, that is life itself. This is what is leaving your body when you die, this divine self. And this is moving on, and this is why you cannot die. Your body is like the clothes that you're leaving, but you cannot die, because this is that divine you that will leave the body. And once this divine you is waking up and connected with your human avatar, your persona, your ego, whatever you want to call it, it feeds you. It feeds you with wisdom, it feeds you with inspiration, with intuition, and it becomes stronger and stronger. And this is the great chance that we have in this solar eclipse in the moment. So wherever you are in the world, try to connect to that moment. And again, if you are having this eclipse in the middle of the night or in the wee hours of the morning, and you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I cannot stay awake," this is okay. You can put a clock to wake you up if you want to, but you don't have to. You just have, when you go to sleep, you tell your higher self that I want to be there in this energy, and whatever happened then, if you wake up, that's fine too. If you don't, because in your sleep, you leave your body. Your body is here, and that's what is like. Your divine self is still connected with yourself, with the so-called silver cord, people call it also. And you will experience it just on different energy levels. But it will happen anyway. The energy is happening anyway. So this is a powerful transformation here with Pluto here with Sagittarius, moving beyond boundaries, and we will have a new way of communication, and the communication will be here when we expand with our higher self. So this is a very powerful waking up process that is happening if you allow it to happen for you. And again, ask that it happen for you. I'm ready to awake. I'm ready to see the truth. I'm ready to completely connect to my God self. I ask Spirit to guide me. I ask Spirit, or thank you, Spirit, for telling me what I need to know. Thank you, Spirit, for taking me beyond the material dogmatic programs. Or you can also, we are living in a false matrix that is kind of laid over the real matrix. So you can also ask that your fake matrix, your fake energy field is being broken down, so that the real energy field, the real matrix that we have as chosen to move towards in this awakening process, to move into the real matrix, because you need a matrix, otherwise you have no experience. But there are many of them, and I have seen in kind of visions, we can say. I was sometimes at places where people died, at sometimes places where battles were, and I suddenly saw a lot of still soldiers. They were still fighting there. I was working with a friend on this, and she sent me to places like that. And I saw in these places that the dark ones, they put kind of like in front of that tunnel that opened up for the soul to move through, they put a white gate in front of it. Again, like they overlapped the real matrix with a false matrix. And a lot of these beings went into this white light. And this is the light that bring them into the recycle process, what we call reincarnation. And there is a way out, and this is what the Ascended Master talk about. But this light is not completely white. It is different. It has, I don't know how to describe it. It is more like a white golden light. It has a complete different energy. So this, if you go to this light, so if you use this moment of time now to break the false matrix, you will feel that, and you also will adjust, and you will move to the real matrix again, where also the moment when you leave your body, you are not just going into a cycle of incarnation that you have to come back, but you move into a different place, in an original divine place where we came from, where you can afterwards look where you want to go, and if you want to come back here, you can, but you don't have to. Every soul can, but we don't have to. But maybe when we really move into that energy field of the golden age, which is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, completely different, that we cannot really, I think, comprehend in the moment with all the struggles we have. you might want to come back. You might want to stay. So I hope that helps a little bit. And I really, what is for me really important is to give you an alternative point to look at the whole thing. Because a lot of people, they don't see that opportunity. I have never heard about that opportunity, but that's what my guidance tell me about what powerful opportunity this is. If we move on, we can break through all that old dogmas. You know, I see those dogmas like walls around us, or like a coconut shell, you know. It has to be cracked open. And that is what happened to me. And I felt it, and it did hurt horribly at the moment, but I was completely happy, and I was able to move on out of a very abusive relationship I had at that time, that I did not realize how abusive it is before, because part of me was still functioning in the false matrix. So that was a powerful breakthrough. And I wish that for all of you too. Not so painful. So please take a lot of water with you wherever you are, because that helps. That helps a great deal, because when poison is breaking out in our body, and it does not matter if it's on a subtle or physical level, because they are connected. So say, for example, if that old wall broke down, it released a lot of poison in my body. And if I would have much more water to drink, but you know, when you drink a lot of water, you also have to go to pee. And sitting in another minibus for another 5-6 hours, whatever, it's kind of difficult situation. So if I would be today in a place like that, I would definitely book a hotel to stay overnight, so I don't have to do that again. But anyway, try to figure out the best situation for you, and let it happen that something crashes open for you that will help you to step on the true matrix, to find the gate to your true self, to open that door to the divine you. I hope that helps. And I just actually figured out that if you give me a thumbs up, that people find my page better. So please give me a thumbs up. And I see you in my next reading very soon. Next will be a card reading. Thank you. And I wish you all the best for this upcoming very, 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 very powerful eclipse.